Good morning. We are going to get started. A few more folks over there. I promise we have some seats on this end. The tickets are the same price. One more minute. Some folks are still drifting. Final countdown. Okay, we're going to roll. Good morning, and welcome to ERA Demo Day number 27. Yes, that's right, 27. I think a few of you have been here for just about every one of them, and we appreciate the support as always. It's remarkable to us. There have been 27 of these, and we've got founders here who are the second time around, so it's really something. So thank you to the whole community here. We couldn't do it without you. Let's give everyone a round of applause, all our mentors. Thank you. You're about to meet a great group of companies. I think everyone in the room is going to find something they want to invest in. Each of them has been a joy to work with, well, mostly a joy to work with, but all of them are working on things that are really exciting in whatever area you're investing in. But first, a quick thank you. On behalf of the whole team, myself, Murat, Brian, Jeremy, the entire team, we want to welcome you. This whole team has worked incredibly hard with the companies that are going to be here today, and all of us appreciate your support. The companies today join now more than 150 companies we're up to that have been part of ERA Demo Day. This is an incredibly exciting group of companies. We're going to share a few highlights today, but the community matters so much to all of us here. And to have the founders join alumni, and many of the alumni are here today, it's really a special group. It's a special group of founders, and to have that in New York means an awful lot to us. So again, I promise we're going to get started. But when you hear all the companies today, there are going to be a few words that you're going to see a couple times. One of them is going to be AI. I know you're surprised. But what we've found is, and you're going to see this today, the companies you're about to meet are basically applying AI in just about every way you can think of. Some of them are doing some of them are doing climate. Some of them are doing MarTech. Some of them are doing a fintech. Some of them are doing tools. But it's incredibly exciting to us to see the way that AI is currently being applied. And we think the companies today are going to help lead that next generation of the next decade of how AI is going to change just about every industry we know of. So, a couple quick shout-outs to companies here. We like to do this, but all of you ask us what happens to some of the alumni, and the answer is an awful lot. Our unicorns, congratulations. Some of them are here today. Round of applause for them. Inc. 5000, fastest growing companies in America. This is just a partial list of the companies that have made the list now. Again, what happens? These companies grow an awful lot. And these are just some of the most promising ones that have made the list recently. But now I'll turn it over to Murat to continue some of these the accolades.
Thank you, John. This morning, I was talking to Bunny Helper, Bunny right there, and I said, Bunny, can you believe it's 27? And she said, no, Murat, it must be 15. I said, no, 27. She's like, really? Because she's been here from the beginning. So I want to congratulate New York City for supporting founders for now 14 years or 27 class. Just a round of applause to yourselves, please. So we've been very lucky with many companies like User and Naya, are America's best startup employers. Tanya Van Court, goal setter, won the award for the best financial education platform. We have fastest growing companies for Financial Times, Confetti, Upright, and the agency. And Deloitte Technology, Fast 500, Upright, and Glia. And our portfolio raised more than $2 billion. Obviously, the last couple of years has not been the best, but still our portfolio is going very strong. We are very excited. And as you know, the ERA fund runs the accelerator. But when these companies grow up and become mature adults and raise more money, we invest in them through our Remarkable Ventures fund, which is the follow-on fund. And Remarkable Ventures invests in the early stage companies in the seed and A and B stages that we know really well closely, ERA founders and ERA companies. And as most of you know, we raised a new climate fund last year. And now we are actively investing. We are very excited about the climate opportunity. And who doesn't know this is New York Climate Week? Okay, everybody knows it's New York Climate Week. Good. But we made 4 investments already. A couple more that we cannot announce yet, but we are very excited about the opportunity in energy, transportation and mobility, built environment, and climate tech finance. And our mentors are actually what brought us here. So if you're a mentor, please raise your hand, and others, please applaud for their support and contributions to our community. And now, I would like to bring our Managing Director, Brian Hecht, to continue the presentation. Thank you, Brian.
All right, what a great crowd. The UN General Assembly did not make it easy to get here for a lot of you, so we especially appreciate your endurance and dedication. As Murat said, these mentors are the backbone of the ERA community. These founders meet with hundreds of these mentors who volunteer their time. They come from every sector, every industry, and the founders get so much out of meeting with them. Among those are some lead mentors. These are the leaders who meet with the founders every single week. They're almost like an extension of their team. They give an enormous amount of their time. Some of them are here. If you could please raise your hands and maybe give a little round of applause for our lead mentors. So much time, so much expertise. Okay, and then, we're going to hear about this a little bit. In addition, they get a specific alumni mentor who's paired up. And here's a theme you're going to hear. You know, when people apply and on their first day of ERA, we always tell them that once you are in ERA, it's not just 16 weeks. It is a relationship for life. And it's not because we tell people to do it. It's because the alumni want to come back and do it. So these are alumni who are paired up with founders to give specific support and specific advice. Venture partners, these are folks who have been supporting us for a very long time, leaders of industry and community who bring a lot of experience to help us. You're going to see some amazing presentations up here. They did not, the founders, let's just say they're all, they all speak well, but not this well on day one. So I think one thing we hear consistently over the years is how good these presentations are, and these demo day pitch coaches have a lot to do with that. Some sponsors. First of all, our demo day sponsor, Mercury. And one thing I want to say about all of these, yes, they provide financial support, but we actually do not take all the sponsorships that are offered to us. The ones we work with are people who will actually come in and add value to the cohort. They do workshops, they meet with them one-on-one, they're very valuable. So our specific demo day sponsor is Mercury. Let's give them a hand. And of course, IAC. This is not just the best demo day space in New York City. I think it's the best space like this of anywhere. It is in our DNA right now. It wouldn't be demo day without IAC. We're so grateful that we can be here. These are folks who we've been working with for a long time and really get involved in the program. There's 2 that I want to single out. First, Witham is Bernie here. Hi, Bernie. Bernie has led our team at Witham. They've been our accountants. Accounting for a fund is not easy. They're my personal accountants as well. Thank you, Bernie. Also, Goodwin. You can imagine the amount of work. Those are our lawyers. Sarah and Jeff, are you here? Hi, Sarah. I'm on the phone with Sarah like every day. They do the fund. They help our founders. They're very generous with giving them credits, so they're not bankrupt with legal fees the minute they show up. And we're very grateful for that. In addition, people supporting us and participating in the program, AWS Activate, JustWorks, I've mentioned Mercury, Row, Carta, and ThoroughPass. Thank you to all of you. Okay, enough of that. This is the part you've been waiting for. I am so proud of all these founders. I'm not going to say too much because they're going to speak for themselves. And the first one I'm going to introduce is Hillary, the co-founder and CEO of WattsUp.
We've all experienced it. You're driving, and the gas light comes on. But it's pretty likely that there's a gas station within reach before you hit empty. And after a few anxiety-ridden moments, you get to the pump, and it works. But let's say, like millions of Americans, you've made the switch to an EV. The dashboard tells you how many miles are left, and it says there's a charger within range. No problem, right? Except you get to the charger, and there's only one, and this is what you see. It's not that you're especially unlucky. 1/3 of chargers in the field today just don't work. 10% stay that way for 6 to 9 weeks. This is a pretty terrible time for you. But can you guess who has it even worse? It's the charge site operator. They own that hardware and have just lost money because you can't charge. Charge site operators collectively lose $2 billion between missed revenue and expensive repairs every single year. And as the number of charging ports scales to 3 million by 2030, these losses only multiply. And that's why we founded WattsUp. Our cloud-based solution empowers both the charge site operator and the technician with the data they need for timely, cost-efficient repairs. We leverage an industry-standard protocol to aggregate data from chargers. We work with all charger brands and models. We then send that data through a proprietary machine learning algorithm and couple it with maintenance, weather, and driver review data to provide predictive insights about charger health. This ensures that the technician is successful on the first try at every service call. And for the charge site operator, we drive action, automating every step of the workflow, dramatically reducing overall charger downtime and maintenance costs. And that's why I'm pleased to announce that next week we're going live with our first customer who operates 11,000 chargers across 43 states, Miller Electric. And it doesn't end with Miller. We've secured 2 more customers, Hypercharge and Electric Fish. Now, you may be wondering, aren't most of these chargers Teslas? Actually, no. Tesla owns less than 1/5 of the public and multifamily charging market, and they just open sourced their charging standard, a clear signal to non-Tesla operators to take over. And they are. These are our customers. We're targeting mid-sized public and multifamily charge site operators and the 250,000 charging ports they manage today. With just our first 3 customers at full rollout, that's $2 million in ARR. And we have an extensive pipeline of over 20 more site operators, representing $40 million in ARR. The charging market is growing rapidly all around the world, and we are well on the road to a $3 billion opportunity. I've been in this industry since the beginning. With my 2 co-founders, we bring a combined 25 years of experience in EV charging and automotive. We are the right team, and this is the right time to drive a clean, reliable EV future. I'm Hillary, and this is WattsUp.
Terrific. Hillary, thank you so much for getting us charged up for a great morning. A perfect example of AI solving a real today problem around mobility and working towards solving the climate crisis. So thank you so much, Hillary. Next up, I am thrilled to introduce the co-founder and CEO of Plum, Julian.
Hey everyone, I'm Julian, CEO and co-founder of Plum. Plum is a developer tool that evaluates and improves the quality of large language model applications. Now, we all know large language models are the latest and greatest of Gen AI technology. They do a great job at writing basic marketing copy, simple code, or summarize an article. But especially for business use cases, there's still a significant gap between what tech leaders are expecting and what they're getting out of generative AI. The outputs are a joke. An insurance company that we've been speaking with, they're building an internal version of ChatGPT for their employees to more quickly price risk, but only a fraction of the outputs contain the right legal terms. So the legal team had to block a wider rollout because for them, generic outputs were a business risk blocking revenue growth. And that's despite their engineers trying months of prompt engineering and in RAG. It simply did not work and the quality plateaued. That's why 30% of Gen AI initiatives next year are going to be abandoned because they simply don't work well enough. And you might be thinking, they have well-resourced teams, they have smart engineers, why can't they do it themselves? And the reality is, they've tried. They'd have to do at least 9 of these techniques to even have a chance at improving quality. That's why we built Plum, a developer tool that evaluates and improves the quality of their existing applications so that instead of developers having to spend months or weeks improving quality, they can do it in hours. And here's how it works. Based off of the existing business use case, it evaluates how well it's working. And based off of that evaluation, it generates the exact right data needed to fine-tune the model. And the process repeats so that it's self-learning in real time. My co-founder, Prem, and I have worked in this space before. A decade ago, we were at Agolo, another ERA company, where we built NLP products using unstructured data for companies including Point72 and EY. So the same problems that developers are now facing with large language models, we solved similar problems a decade ago with the last generation of natural language processing. And you might be thinking, why can't the next version of ChatGPT solve this? 1.0, Claude 3.5? The reality is, they will never be good enough as customized large language models. They are intentionally foundational. They're designed to be generic and built on top of. They need the specific business use case to work effectively. And because customization is such a hard problem, I'm proud to announce our first 2 pilots with InterTrue and WinRare, because for them, generic outputs are a business risk blocking revenue growth. This is a $2.5 billion service addressable market that's doubling every 2 years. I'm Julian. We are Plum. If you want to help close the gap between generative AI expectations and reality, we would love to speak with you.
Thanks very much. That was Julian with Plum. Moving right on, I am very excited to introduce Morgan, founder and CEO of Neru Health.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Hi, I'm Morgan, CEO of Neru Health. Imagine you're an ER doctor, Sarah, finishing an overnight shift. You're so tired that you prescribe the wrong dosage of blood thinner to your patients. Or imagine you're a truck driver, Michael, 14 hours into your shift. Your eyelids are heavy and your hands slip on the steering wheel. My family and my co-founder's family are shift workers like Sarah and Michael, and among 1 billion battling chronic sleep disorders like insomnia and sleep apnea globally. This crisis costs US employers $136 billion, and US healthcare, $94 billion every year. But unfortunately, our sleep healthcare system is broken, and patients like Sarah fall through the cracks due to a shortage in healthcare providers and outdated patient management systems. Getting care is confusing and burdensome. No wonder less than 50% of patients are adherent long-term. This is why we created Neru, the AI sleep companion that scales effective sleep care to provide Sarah continuous personalized support. We sell to sleep health providers, companies like sleep clinics and durable medical equipment companies that provide Neru to their patients. Neru reduces the cost of care and increases patient adherence to treatment. And adherence to treatment is absolutely necessary for them to get insurance reimbursement. This is why, in just the last month alone, we've secured 2 partnerships with major sleep health providers valued at more than 300,000 ARR. And with just these contracts, we'll be managing more than 20,000 patients per month by next year. So, here's how it works. Neru's AI connects with Sarah's electronic health records, medical devices, wearable, and even work calendar data to continuously personalize her care. Neru coaches Sarah 24/7, telling her the optimal time to sleep after her night shift. It understands that she's pre-diabetic and optimizes her nutrition to prevent another mid-shift crash. And it even detects that when her CPAP mask is damaged and orders a replacement. The results are powerful. Our personalized coaching was much more effective than the Apple Watch data tracking alone in an MIT research study. And that's just the start. So, I hope I've been keeping you awake. But if not, let me tell you why this is a massive business opportunity. There are over 3,000 sleep health providers in the US, overwhelmed by patient volume and losing billions every year in insurance reimbursement due to patient non-adherence. Neru helps them manage 10 times the amount of patients at a fraction of the cost while improving outcomes and insurance reimbursements. Oh, and these employers, they give us access to massive companies like Walmart and Vulcan who get valuable data on how we're reducing accident and healthcare costs. We're targeting a massively growing $30 billion market accelerated by Apple and Samsung building sleep apnea detection into their watches. The time is now. We're at the precipice of a massive volume of patients that we can help. This is personal to me. I've struggled with insomnia and sleep apnea. Getting proper sleep care changed my life. I'm a 2-time life science entrepreneur, joined by my brilliant co-founders, Catherine, a Stanford engineer who built products for shift workers at Amazon, and Maria, a published bioinformatics machine learning expert. We began with the mission to help shift workers like our family members, but we discovered the opportunity was much larger. Thank you very much, and get a good night's sleep, but not before you come and visit us at our booth.
Thank you, Morgan, for keeping us awake. Next up is Gary from Dokai.
Hi, I'm Gary, CEO and co-founder of Dokai. And this is my co-founder, Rio. Rio worked at Merrill Lynch, training wealth managers on how to use their software. Now, Merrill Lynch has 15,000 wealth managers that oversee $2.8 trillion using 30 different digital tools. Rio flew around the country constantly making sure they know how to use their software to do their job. He had 6 months of training to learn how to do this, but these wealth managers, they got almost none. And the software they used, it was always changing. They spent way too much time fumbling with software instead of hitting their quotas. And Rio's team estimated this inefficiency cost Merrill Lynch $500 million a year. So one day, he came to me with a joke that in order to stop the bleeding, he should clone himself to 5,000 Rios. And this was our aha moment. This is why we built Dokai, a browser AI agent for a sales team. So imagine you're one of those wealth managers, and when you sit down at your desk, these are the tools you see. They're essential to closing sales and making money for your clients, but this is a jumbled mess. Yes, you receive training, but every single day, there are updates and changes to these tools. And some of these changes affect the very way you do business. UI and tools gets updated every day. They want you to use new sales script and playbook. It's slowing you down, you're losing business, you're making errors. And that's why we needed all those Rios. Here's how Dokai solves this problem. Our software has teach mode and guide mode. The sales manager uses teach mode. Instead of changing written documentation, they simply demonstrate the right way to do things in the browser once. And here's the magic. With just that information, Dokai learns and creates a live and complete interactive walkthrough that sellers can access in guide mode. The information is delivered in screen demonstrations, text, and audio instructions. And if they need more guidance, they're an AI co-pilot, always there to answer their questions. Exactly what they need, when they need it. This means at any point in their workflow, whether they need a refresher on something they've learned, or an instant update on a change made yesterday, Dokai is there as their constant companion. It's not onboarding, it's not ongoing training, it's everboarding. And Dokai really works. Our customers love us, and the results are tangible. We have 4 pilots running and are in active discussion with 6 enterprises representing 10,000 sellers. They already see the staggering value that Dokai will bring to their sales teams and their bottom line. And our product constantly improves, adding new functionality, opening up new markets. Let's talk about powerful. Once we've collected the company workflow data, Dokai will not just show you on how to use these tools. Dokai will actually do it for you. And this is not just a vision. Our customers are demanding it, and we will deliver this transformational feature by the end of the year. Our team is exceptionally well positioned to capture this opportunity. Now, I've introduced you to Rio. He's actually real, and he's actually right there. Let's all say hi to Rio. Hi, Rio. He brings years of sales and sales enablement experience, and I'm an AI expert, where I built ML solutions for Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and Robinhood. So, if you know a sales team who's looking to supercharge their sellers, we'd love to meet. And if you're an investor, join us in shaping the future of work and everboarding. My name is Gary Patia. The future is Dokai. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Rio. Couldn't have done it without you. Just going to take a quick pause. There's some seats over on this side, and I know people have been trickling in. So this is the wonderful opportunity and polite time. No one's going to judge you. We'd love for you to come over. You get the middle's taken, but there's some seats over there. All right, let's keep this show moving. Next up, I am so proud. Okay, this one takes a very unsexy topic, and he's going to make it very sexy. I'd like to introduce Ralph, the co-founder and CEO of 10 Clear.
The CPA stereotypes you have are real. I would know. I worked at Deloitte for 10 years. This was me auditing public company financial statements. Yes, it was as bad as it looked. The workflow then was out of the Stone Age. I had screens open all the time for financial statements, peer benchmarking tools, gap standards, and the disclosure checklist. A completely manual self-evaluation tool, usually in Excel. Thousands of complex, subjective rules where one tiny mistake can move markets. Fast forward to today. This is still how financial statements are audited, line by line, rule by rule. These manual processes eat up hundreds of hours of fixed-fee audits. With firms operating with razor-thin margins, every hour hits the bottom line. And that's why we built 10Clear. 10Clear is an AI SaaS platform streamlining financial statement compliance. We enhance the accuracy of reports, all at lower costs. Today, I'm so proud to share that we have a live pilot with one of the 6 largest audit firms in the world, Grant Thornton. "40 auditors have been using our product for over 2 months, and we're already seeing 97% accuracy and delivering 90% efficiency gains across audit portfolios. Let me show you how we've automated this complex and time-consuming workflow. An auditor just received their draft 10K from a client. These are often hundreds of pages long. All the auditor does now is upload it to 10Clear. We do all the hard work. 10Clear breaks down the financials into consumable chunks. We use proprietary algorithms to assess the content against every single rule required by the SEC. All the auditor does now is validate the accounting analysis 10Clear creates. We have started with compliance because it's the most difficult job an auditor has. Anyone can draft a first pass of financial statement content with a public LLM. But to assess that content for accuracy and completeness is extremely difficult. This is particularly relevant because the SEC is cracking down. The most prestigious accounting firms in the world, which may have been mentioned already, have a greater than 34% deficiency rate in their audit opinions last year. And it's not just the firms that pay the price, it's their clients too. In 2023, the SEC penalized public companies over $1 billion related to disclosure errors we identify and fix. That's why the $15 billion financial reporting industry is ripe for an overhaul. Like case text in the legal industry, we are doing this for accounting. 10Clear sells to the top US accounting firms. We offer a platform fee plus a usage fee based on the number of audits a firm completes each year. We are already building a pipeline of 6-figure multi-year contracts that scale as our customers use 10Clear for the 200,000 public and private audits in the US and even more globally. But we're not stopping with compliance. We will use the data we collect to help corporates create their reports. This is the future for regulatory reporting. From thousands of ESG requirements soon to be within 10Ks to banking regulatory requirements, the opportunities are endless. My co-founder, Bhav, is an incredible engineer with experience at Compass from the early days to IPO. With my experience auditing hundreds of clients at Deloitte, we are revolutionizing the accounting industry. Remember those accounting stereotypes? We are shattering them. I'm Ralph, and we're 10Clear.
Awesome. Thank you, Ralph and 10Clear. Now I am pleased to introduce the co-founder and CEO of Octozi, Amit.
Pharma companies make 2 things: drugs and the data to demonstrate those drugs are safe and effective. While AI has dramatically accelerated the pace of drug discovery, it has still had a minimal impact on clinical development. It still takes over 10 years and billions of dollars to get a drug to market. Pharma companies are in a race against expiring patent windows for their drugs, where each day they stand to lose over $1 million in lost commercialization revenue per drug. Let me introduce you to Mary. Mary is a physician and a medical monitor at a contract research organization, or CRO. CROs provide critical services to the pharma industry, and this one has been hired to support a phase 3 oncology study. Over 3 million data points will be generated in this study. This is a 3x increase from a decade ago, putting a huge strain on outdated processes like using spreadsheets to review all of this data. It takes an army of people, in addition to Mary, to ensure that every piece of data is ready and validated for submission. But despite their best efforts, the process is slow, error-prone, and a major bottleneck to getting approval. Octozi is disrupting this. Octozi automates clinical trial data workflows, and I am thrilled to announce we're already working with our first customer, Ciro. Octozi helps Ciro reduce costs, improve quality, and most importantly, accelerate timelines. Let me tell you how it works. First, we ingest clinical data and critical context on the drug and the trial. Our AI then processes all of this information and brings in additional data, such as drug label information. Octozi's AI acts just like a physician, reviewing all of this data and automatically identifying discrepancies in things like adverse events. Let's go back to Mary. With Octozi, Mary is able to focus on the things that truly require her expertise. The result? The sponsor is not only more satisfied with the quality of service from the CRO, but most importantly, they're able to achieve an accelerated timeline, 5 times faster than the industry standard. We are going after a $9 billion market opportunity. We target these CROs who act both as a user and as a channel, selling our software to the sponsor who pays on an annual subscription per trial. Going after this opportunity takes the right team. Our CTO, Matt, has a PhD in AI and has built products at companies like Google and Amazon. Our chief medical officer, Eric, is a physician that has over 20 years of clinical development expertise at companies like Roche and Ionis. And I have over 12 years experience in bringing AI products to market at companies like Meta, and notably leading a Google X moonshot. Octozi is transforming clinical development, and most importantly, helping to get more drugs to the patients that need them. Please reach out if you'd like to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit. Next up, moving right along, really pleased to introduce Red, founder and CEO of ZeroTrue.
Thanks, Jeremy. ZeroTrue is a development environment driving better business decisions by instantly connecting business users with data science and machine learning teams. When databases became widespread across industry, business intelligence tools like Tableau and Looker appeared as a visualization layer on top to get business users access to the data they need to make decisions. But today, these tools haven't kept up. With fragmented data sources and increased reliance on external models like ChatGPT, this is such a widespread problem that even gigantic companies are struggling. Take Shopify, for example. Their CEO was asked how inflation was affecting consumer spending on his platform. but he didn't know. His exact words, that knowledge is trapped in Python notebooks within our organization. That Python notebook he's talking about, it's called Jupyter. It's basically a Word doc for data science, and it's used to do everything from explore data to train machine learning models. But here's 2 things you need to know about Jupyter. Number 1, everyone is using Jupyter. Number 2, it's 20-year-old software developed in academia, when the AI we see today was just a fantasy. This means it can take days, if not weeks, to get work from Jupyter into the hands of the Shopify CEO. So it's no wonder he's confused. This is unacceptable. And this is why we built ZeroTrue. ZeroTrue is not just a better version of Jupyter. We've added an application and visualization layer to the most powerful and popular programming environment in data science and machine learning today, a Python notebook. This means that with ZeroTrue, data scientists can create interactive applications that they share to get instant feedback, meaning that what they build is more aligned with the needs of the business. And that's why I'm proud to announce we're at $31,000 in ARR. Thank you, thank you. Our customers are using ZeroTrue to build applications for massive companies like BMW and the Asian Development Bank. But why did they choose us? I'm gonna geek out here for a second, so bear with me. Our key insight was that only 5% of notebooks online today can be recreated exactly. This means an entirely separate software is needed to visualize this work. Half of the notebooks fail because of issues with the programming environment and dependencies, while the remaining notebooks fail because Jupyter's runtime hides key details of the execution model, meaning you can run code multiple times and get a different answer each time. ZeroTrue solves all of these problems. Each notebook is packaged into its own isolated environment, ready for deployment. And our runtime guarantees consistent results, meaning that with our integrated UI library, data scientists can create secure and scalable applications without support from engineering. Now, if I sound giddy about what's honestly a pretty technical problem, let me tell you why. I was a data scientist at TransUnion, where I spent thousands of hours translating my work from notebooks into outputs people would find useful. And Carson, my CTO, he wrangled with people like me at Publicis Sapient, where he was a software engineer, putting machine learning into production. We met at Cornell 9 years ago, we lived together, and we're best friends, and the perfect team to solve the problem. And that's why we're flipping the script for data intelligence, taking knowledge that was held hostage in legacy tools and unleashing it for the entire organization. I'm Red, this was ZeroTrue. Come grab some chocolate at our booth.
Thank you, Red and Carson, for bringing data science to life. Next up, it is my pleasure to introduce Ved from Adrsta.
Thank you, Herman. Hi, everyone. I am Ved. I was the head of agency marketing science at Facebook. And before that, I was a data scientist at the Home Depot, American Express, and Starbucks, all advertisers on Facebook. In that time, I experienced seismic changes in the economics of advertising. Cookies went away, privacy concerns skyrocketed, and regulations came into play. All of that drove cost of advertising way up and ROI way down. But because I had worked on both sides, the advertiser side and on the Facebook side, I had a unique insight. We all know that Facebook has data on users like you and I. But guess what? Advertisers have even more data. They know about their customers' lifetime value, churn, retention, coupon redemption, inventory sell-through, so much more information. You see, the problem is that these two systems, they do not talk to each other. So we founded Adrsta, the SaaS platform that connects those two systems. And by attaching first-party data to platforms data, Adrsta drives an up to 30% increase in the ROI of Google and Facebook's advertisers. And it works, which is why I'm proud to announce today that we are currently at $240,000 in ARR. And are confident of closing this year with an ARR of $500,000. Now let's meet Maurice. Maurice is a media buyer for Finance HQ, one of our actual customers. Maurice buys Facebook ads to find high net worth individuals to sell investment products. For buyers like Maurice, Facebook used to be a cheap source of quality leads. But the world has changed. You see, Facebook cares about one thing. They want to sell you leads. So Facebook will tell Maurice that he will get more clicks from that man aged 25 to 34 in Peoria, not that women 55 plus in Sacramento. But here's the thing. Maurice has additional information. With Adrsta software, Maurice knows that that man in Peoria, even though he clicks more often, he may or may not buy. And even if he buys, he will churn soon. Terrible lifetime value. But that woman in Sacramento, even though she clicks less often, but when she does, she will become a lifelong loyal customer, making her far more valuable. You see, Facebook wants Peoria, but you want Sacramento. This is exactly what Adrsta does. And by the way, this is just one of our online customers. This is where I get really excited. Take Home Depot. And by the way, no one can do this. Take Home Depot, where I used to work. It's an omni-channel retailer. Home Depot knows which regions, which stores have inventories. So they do not want to be advertising where they're out of stock. They need their advertising to factor in where they can actually deliver their product, whether online or in store. Facebook does not know that. Adrsta does. We are currently live with Meta and Google, which alone accounts for 45% of all advertising. But soon, we'll be integrating with retail media, connected television, podcast, bringing power of Adrsta to every programmatic advertiser. Advertisers are already spending more than $20 billion to optimize their spend. It is not working well. You see, this isn't simply ad tech. Unlocking all of this value requires a full 360-degree view of a merchant's business. Online data, offline data, behavioral data, financial data. It is incredibly complex. It has an entirely new data challenge that requires an entirely new form of marketing science, which is what we have built at Adrsta. I'm joined by my co-founder, the amazing, the wonderful, the fantabulous Chase Monet. Chase and I were partners at Facebook. I built the technology, he sold it. We complement each other perfectly. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to chatting more.
All right, we're well past halfway. Makes me sad, because I want to see so many more of these. Before we proceed, I would like to say something I say every time, but it's really heartfelt for me. Now, the CEOs you're seeing here, they get all the glory. They're under the spotlights. But while they're off raising money, rehearsing this, being the face of the company, they're the co-founders, the CTOs, the COOs, who are working often behind the scenes to make the company run, and all that traction you see is largely due to them. And they're all up on the side, so I'd like them to raise their hands, and I'd like to give the biggest round of applause ever for the co-founders who are over there. I love you guys. Okay, let's move on. I'm so proud to introduce our next presenter. She is the formidable and beloved co-founder and CEO of Eloo. It's Davida.
Hi everyone, I'm Davida, co-founder and CEO of Eloo, and we are building the critical missing link between product and development teams. Now, building software products, especially in the promised land of Gen AI, should be straightforward, right? You tell the developer or the AI agent what to build, and just like that, you have a working app or platform. Well, welcome to Fantasyland, because this is not the reality. Take Booking.com, for instance, who share with us the following story. So it was high season for hotels, and product manager launched a new feature. So he wrote the requirement, but forgot a few details. And the developers got it all wrong. Before you know it, 25 million hotels were charging inflated prices because discounts were hidden. They had to take the website down for half a day to implement the fix. Travelers were booking hotels with the competitors, millions in revenue were lost, and all because of one vague product requirement. Requirement errors cost the US market $30 billion a year, and developers spend a third of their time rewriting code instead of shipping new features to market. A third of their time rewriting code. Now, we talked to 85 of the leading tech companies in the world, and we have heard time and again that nobody has properly solved the gap between product specification and technical implementation. The Eloo team knows this problem. For the past 20 years, we have led product and R&D teams from startups to an enterprise that builds rockets and defense systems that you've probably heard about in the news. Those require the highest level of accuracy, the most complexity of details, zero tolerance for errors. And we have taken those experiences to train AI that we can now bring to any enterprise. Introducing Eloo. Eloo creates, corrects, and completes software requirements and specifications. Our proprietary model sits on top of systems that companies already use. Think about it like Grammarly for product specs. We have trained it to work like a seasoned product owner who learns the user's current systems and spot flaws and gaps even before the code is written. Eloo then closes the gap by creating highly detailed development tasks end to end. We have tested our beta with Booking.com, Dropbox, Wix, and more companies. The results speak for themselves. Over 80% of Eloo's actionable suggestions were implemented by R&D teams, and that's not all. In 10 weeks and with a live product, we have lined up 8 design partners, including 2 Fortune 500 companies, and we have closed 4 pilots. So, why are they so excited? Well, we have demand because companies of all sizes are eager to solve this mission-critical gap. We don't have to explain the problem, and they love our solution. We all know that LLMs fail to provide the accuracy needed at the enterprise level. With Eloo, they can speed up the specification of even the most complex products and systems. And we are seeing the market shifting the focus from building to planning, which enables them to save millions of dollars a year on hidden gaps. And the best part? We let the innovative tech companies of the world move fast and not break things. What Jira did for project management, GitHub for codebase, and Figma for visual design, Eloo will do for product requirements and specifications. I'm Davida, and we are Eloo. Thank you.
Amazing. Davida, thank you so much for sharing what you're building at Eloo. As you can see, we have many, many founders who work extremely hard. Our next founder, always first in, always last to leave, working extremely hard, extremely intense to build something that I knew very little about before he started working on. I'm so excited to introduce to you an incredibly wonderful founder, Brandon and WIPJar.
Right. Let's get into it. This is a city council meeting in Jacksonville, Florida. There's a lot of things going on here that most of us don't know very much about. Commissioner Treacy really wants to improve the city's air quality. Jonathan Drohan is appointed new member of the Joint Planning Committee. And Roberta Pecula wants to rename a street corner after her grandfather. It's super boring. If you've never been to one, don't. However, for us, this meeting isn't boring at all. For us, it's a hyper-local, real-time data stream with huge business opportunities, which is why I founded WIPJar, SaaS for instantly identifying the best sales opportunities in complex municipal data. You may not care that Commissioner Treacy really wants to improve the city's air quality, but I can promise you that Mike does. See, Mike is the VP of Sales for Smart City Air Filters, and working with the city of Jacksonville, Florida, represents a $2 million contract opportunity. Unfortunately, Mike is never going to know about it because his SDRs, who are paid $100,000 a year plus commission, are never going to know about it. Because how could they possibly find it? They would have to sift through PDFs and meeting notes, website bulletins, legal filings, building permits, maps of city zoning ordinances, a revolving door of organizational charts, and, wait for it, it's super crazy, lots and lots of YouTube videos. Every day across the United States, the equivalent of 500,000 pages of new text data and 20,000 hours of video content are produced across 600,000 municipal committees in 19,000 towns and cities. Fortunately, WIPJar is continuously analyzing data from every single one of them. Let's go back to Mike. Now, with WIPJar, he just selects target zip codes. WIPJar scans for signals 24/7, identifies them in real time, and notifies Mike of the opportunity. WIPJar pre-qualifies it with data, like this air quality regulation and this smart city development plan, and automatically finds champions, like the director of urban planning. WIPJar even pulls their contact information, prepares Mike for the outreach, and drafts a personalized phone script and email. The opportunity here is huge because we're helping to automate the $35 billion SDR market. And even though we only launched 2 weeks ago, we've already secured 4 pilot programs across energy, real estate, and private equity. This is me. I'm the founder and CEO. I have a background in quantitative economics, 15 years of entrepreneurship experience, and have successfully grown 3 businesses to date, generating revenue of over $100 million. I founded WIPJar to unlock sales opportunities in municipal data. I'm Brandon Cohn. This is WIPJar. Thank you.
Thanks so much to Brandon. All right, moving swiftly along here. And if anyone wants to move over to the right-hand side from the left-hand side, now's another polite moment to do it. I see a lot of standing folks over there. But we will get going if everyone's comfortable. Next up, I am very excited to introduce Doug. He's the founder and CEO of Try8.
Hi, I'm Doug, co-founder and CEO of Try8. We are helping software sales teams close more deals with hyper-personalized demos. This cartoon figure is Fraser, but he's actually a real person. He's the head of growth of Daxter, and his job is to make Daxter stand out in a sea of competition in data orchestration software. For the past year, Fraser and his team have been hard at work building content, marketing, and sales for developers. Think of blog posts, product tutorials, and YouTube videos. And despite all of this hard work, conversions are still stuck at only 5%. 5%. But let me tell you a little secret. Fraser found that getting personalized demos into the hands of buyers could generate an aha moment. And aha moments are what converts interested prospect into paying customers. Take a look at this diagram. If it looks complicated, that's because it is. This is the production system for just one of Daxter's customers. And it took their sales team 145 hours, yes, 145 hours, to recreate this system to integrate Daxter for a product demo. Now, Daxter wants to do this for all of their prospects, but they have thousands of them. And so, quite frankly, it is simply impossible. Introducing Try8. We solve this problem. We enable software companies like Daxter to create hyper-personalized, self-serve demos, the kind that boosts conversion and drives up revenue. Here's how it works. In a single click, Try8 replicates the buyer's production system in a cloud coding sandbox. This environment comes preloaded with all relevant data and all necessary integrations. In Daxter's use case, we help data engineers build a real e-commerce data pipeline, ingesting Shopify data and visualizing revenue using Looker. And it really works. Here's a quote from Fraser. "Wow, Doug, this worked on the first try. This never happens." This is how Daxter's buyers experience their product using Try8, and this is why they convert into paying customers. And remember that abysmal 5% number? Well, with Try8, it tripled. And that's why today I'm excited to announce that in addition to Daxter, we're also working with Orcus, Weaviate, and Clover, a $20 billion point of sales company. Companies like these spend $8 billion on just pre-sales, but we support the entire sales funnel. Let me give you some examples. With Try8, AI software companies can teach developers how to build the latest generation RAG systems. Payment processing companies can show off their flexible APIs to their vendors and their partners. And software security compliance companies can even wow CISOs with reference security implementations. My co-founder Sam and I have decades of experience as software engineers building products and teams at companies like Palantir, Meta, and Bridgewater, where we worked together for 2 years. And for those of you in the room who know anything about Bridgewater, you know that 2 years at Bridgewater is a lifetime. I'm Doug, and this is Try 8. We generate more sales through aha moments. Join us. It's a love story. Just say yes.
Thank you, Doug and Sam, for that aha moment. For those of you who know ERA, we have a special place for climate. And so please join me in welcoming Axel from NOX Energy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Axel, co-founder and CEO of NOX Energy. NOX Energy is a platform that connects manufacturers of energy-efficient assets like solar panels, EVs, and heat pumps to the energy market. Imagine, it's February 2021, and Texas is facing a historic freeze. Power plants are failing, grid operators are overwhelmed, and millions are left in the dark. The result? Over $130 billion in economic damage. But here's the thing. This isn't just a Texas problem. This is a growing global issue as more electric cars, heat pumps, and other renewable energy sources are plugged in. The grid is pushed to its limits. By 2030, we will need over $1 trillion in new grid infrastructure just to keep up with demand. Think about that, $1 trillion. But what if we didn't need all this grid infrastructure? What if we could solve the problem with what's already installed? Well, that's exactly what we're able to do at NOX Energy. But first, let's take a step back. Grid operators are constantly balancing supply and demand. Every second counts. And when things go wrong, they need relief fast. On the other side, there are millions of renewable energy assets sitting there with additional capacity ready to respond. But the grid operator and these assets don't talk to each other. NOX Energy is a platform that bridges this gap. When the grid is over or under capacity, our AI reacts in seconds, adjusting power instantly. And this isn't your traditional demand response program that kicks in 5 times a year. We are doing this 100 times a day, 365 days a year, with precision down to the device level. In 2023 alone, grid operators already paid $60 billion solving this problem. And this is expected to grow to $200 billion by the end of 2030. And our software integrates directly into the system of manufacturers, giving us access to their entire portfolio of electric assets. And we are experiencing huge demand. 6 grid operators are waiting in line to secure additional flexible power from NOX. And we're proud to announce that we're delivering the additional capacity they need with our first partnership. Daikin, the largest heat pump manufacturer in the world. And after this pilot project, we will be able to integrate into their 1.5 million cloud-connected heat pumps. I experienced this problem firsthand. 2 years ago, I built a microgrid for schools in Africa to solve the problem of daily blackouts that made it impossible to teach the kids. And I'm proud to present you our incredible team. Louis' background is in infrastructure private equity, and he drives our sales and finance efforts. Martin comes from Amazon and Accenture, and he's leading our AI development. We are NOX Energy. I'm Axel. Let's accelerate the energy transition together. Join us.
All right, there's only 3 left. They're going to be awesome. Let's have a couple more things to say. First of all, the preparation I think you can see for these presentations is above and beyond. I mean, I think this really is, I don't play favorites, but this really is one of the best demo days I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. The preparation we give, of course, there's dress rehearsals and memorization, but we also have these things we call pods, where, you know, a beginning at 3 times a week, then 2 times a week, and then every single day we meet in small groups and workshop and support each other. So I'd just like to take a moment and recognize my colleagues who run these pods alongside me. Please say thank you to Perry, Harmon, and Jeremy. Thank you so much. Could not do this without you. And finally, I want to emphasize one more time. Yes, we put a lot of work into making this a great show, making it entertaining for you, but in the end, we want to reach you as investors. If I were making personal investments right now, I can't because of ERA, I would have a really hard time deciding where to write my checks. So please go talk to them at the booths afterwards. There's so much more than the little teaser that you get here. They have exceptional depth of understanding about their products, about their markets, about what they're going to build going into the future. So please go talk to them. And before we wrap up, let's have one more round of applause for all the founders and all the co-founders. Here we go. Let's start wrapping this up. I am so proud to introduce J.D. Rico, the founder and CEO of QI.
Hi, I'm JD. For 2 decades, I worked with leading global agencies and Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola and AB InBev, where I've worked with marketing leaders like Ricardo Rey, who is responsible for making multi-million-dollar global marketing campaign decisions. And too often, these decisions are made with limited and mostly manual testing. Focus groups and surveys will take weeks, and they can cost tens of thousands for each creative concept. This limits the number of tests they can run. Extreme cases, like Pepsi, Bud Light, KFC, have cost companies billions of dollars, and they're becoming more and more common. But every day, brands waste money on content that fails. This happens despite brands spending $19 billion on content testing and brand health. Now, all these brands, they have the best agencies, the most competent executives. What they lacked was the ability to test and optimize their campaigns in real time. And that's why we built QI, a predictive SaaS platform brands use to test their content marketing campaigns for impact, risk, and compliance before they go live. And today, I'm thrilled to announce that the world's #1 brand is our customer, Corona. Corona has been using QI to deliver hundreds of campaigns across multiple countries. By using QI, they're able to test 10 times the assets they would normally test for any given campaign. The results, 90% cost reduction, twice the reliability. And because of QI's proven performance, we are now live with 3 of AB InBev's top brands, Corona, Victoria, and Modelo. Let me show you how we do it. QI aggregates unstructured content assets and historical campaign data. We then test against live data with our proprietary semantic and sentiment algorithms. And we deliver hyper-targeted insights that allow brands to optimize their campaigns and detonate creative excellence. And we do it in seconds. And ladies and gentlemen, it's working. Over the past year, we've generated over $100,000 in revenue from AB InBev and for other customers. We're seeing very exciting traction in additional verticals, like retail, financial services, and pharma, where we're piloting with major brands, all of which require frequently updated content to meet their goals. They face restrictions and regulations and have strict brand guidelines. With 20 years in qualitative research and data science, I've seen these problems firsthand. And I've built a team with experience in companies like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and Philips. Join us in helping brands deliver campaigns that drive impact while staying true to their essence. This is QI, I'm JD, let's talk.
Okay, thank you, JD, and sharing what you're building at QI. I'm pleased to introduce Florence, who is the founder of Fig Medical.
I'm Florence, the CEO of Fig Medical. This was 3 a.m. outside of my house. My mother was about to be put in an ambulance, and it was completely avoidable. 4 weeks prior, her doctor recommended a CT scan, but her prior authorization didn't come through in time. Today, over 100 million patients seek medical services that require prior authorization. This costs the US health system over $300 billion in claim denials, revenue reimbursement delays, and administrative costs. It's only getting worse. Prior authorization-driven claim denials are climbing year after year. And without change, already strained hospitals will face even higher costs. We founded Fig Medical to change that. We developed an AI-enabled solution that expedites the prior authorization workflow from weeks to days. To get approval for my mom's CT scan, her doctor's administrative staff needs to sift through her medical records and build a case to get approved by her insurer. But her doctor works with over 20 insurers, and every one of them have thousands of pages in medical policies and guidelines. The administrative staff have no chance of going through all of this accurately and pulling it in. It's no wonder that 90% of providers report care delays on the back of this process, and that hospitals face over $300 billion in associated costs. After launching this summer, I'm excited to announce plans for our first pilot with one of the top 3 hospitals in New York. Here's why they're excited to work with us. We improve prior authorization-driven claim denials, revenue reimbursement delays, and administrative costs, all while enhancing patient care. Moving our customers from this to this. Our software integrates into the electronic health record system and uses machine learning to analyze clinical patient data and retrieve relevant documentation. This enables us to predict outcomes and make suggestions for improvement. Imagine my mom's CT scan process simplified, where the hospital gets paid sooner, the administrative staff's workload streamlined, and an unnecessary hospitalization avoided. Our team spans decades of experience across both the provider and the payer side, and over a decade of experience in machine learning. I've personally spent hundreds of hours in the prior authorization space, but it doesn't end there. We understand how critical partnerships are in this industry, and have composed a team of leaders in the clinical space to inform our product and help us meet our customers where they're at. My name is Florence, and this is Fig Medical.
Thank you so much to Florence. Which brings us to our final pitch of the day. Goodness me. But certainly, last but certainly not least, I'm very excited to introduce Samin, founder and CEO of Flisk.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Guys, this is ERA 27. Let's do that again. How's everybody doing? All right, that's more like it. Awesome. Super excited to be back here. Those of you who've been coming to ERA demo days might even remember me from Eventable back in ERA 8. Eventable exited successfully, and at the acquirer, thank you, I became the VP of product. There, I worked with companies like Warby Parker, helping them better understand their data. For them, data drives everything from customer acquisition to retail operations and logistics. Now, you'd think that accessing their own data should be pretty easy, but it's not. It requires a massive amount of engineering. In fact, for every new feature on their website or app, Warby Parker has to spend at least 70 hours on data collection, mapping database fields, writing website code, setting up data pipelines, and so much more. Today, the demands for data are outpacing their engineering capacity. Their existing pile of data collection requests alone would take over 8,000 hours to complete. Yes, 8,000 hours. That work will never get done given all the other priorities for engineering. But they need this data for the kind of advanced analytics and optimization that can only be delivered by AI. This is where Flisk comes in. Our data collection platform leverages vertical-specific LLMs to reimagine the developer workflow, reducing engineering work by 90% while generating better, more detailed data. Engineers just write a single line of code. And yes, that's actually the line of code. Behind the scenes, our AI builds a graph of all their disparate systems and what data can be extracted. Then we generate the thousands of lines of code to instrument and automate data collection. Our novel approach frees the structured data that exists in silos today and makes it available to anyone in the business. We're building the systems that these companies desperately need but are unable to do themselves. And I'm so excited to announce we're already working not just with Warby Parker, but with over a dozen top consumer companies like Lululemon and Nike and Tapestry. We're addressing a pain point that's already resonating with the largest consumer brands. And we're working with these companies at a pivotal point in time. They're all racing to leverage the opportunity of AI in their business. But at the end of the day, AI is only as good as the data it's built on. And Flisk is the key to unlocking the data that will power that transformation. Today, the customer data platform market is $8 billion. And that is set to skyrocket to $60 billion by 2030 as AI drives demand for the next generation of tools like Flisk. In addition to our design partners, we're leveraging open source as a go-to-market strategy. Our first product helps data teams identify gaps in data collection and embeds us directly into their existing workflows. And guys, the response has been incredible. We launched just 2 weeks ago. In that short period, have already reached over 2,000 developers. I'm a repeat exited founder. I've grown businesses from 0 to 8-figure in revenue, and I know this market intimately because I've spent the last decade building and selling data products for consumer companies. I'm joined by an incredible team of veteran engineers and operators who know exactly how to build this type of product and business. The next decade is going to be about who has the best data. Join us as we deliver that for every business. I'm Samin, and this is Flisk. Thanks.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Before we go further to the networking event, we quickly want to give you some final announcements. My name is Sho, and I'm joined here today. Her name is Sho, and I'm joined here today by Bianca. So first of all, if you want to book meetings with the founders, please scan the QR code right behind us. You'll go to the website ERA-NYC/demo day. Here you can book one-on-one meetings with each and every one of them.
Thanks, Bianca, or Sho. I have a very exciting announcement for you all. Applications are open for our winter 2025 cohort. We love referrals, yes. Woo. We love referrals. If you know any founders that will be a good fit for our program, please send them our way. And the applications will be open until Monday, November 6th. The program will run from January until April. So we'll wrap it up here. Please join us in the East Lobby for networking, get the founders' contact information. We can't wait for you to speak with them more. And if we could just give one last round of applause for all our founders. Thanks, everyone.